Hey everybody, it's Yu-Gi-Oh! Master 88 here, and welcome to the second deck profile of the April 2004 format that I'm experimenting with. This time we are going to have a look at the Magical Scientist OTK deck profile. I'm going to explain the deck profile first, and then I'll show you guys a little bit of how the combo works. Okay? Okay, let's get into it. Starting with, one of everybody's favorite trap cards, Mirror Force. Ordeal of the Traveler. Now, this is a very interesting continuous trap card. I've used it a few times over the years. Pretty much what it does is this. You can only activate this card's effect when your opponent declares an attack. Your opponent selects one random card in your hand and call the card type of the card monster, spell, or trap. If your opponent calls it wrong, the attacking monster is returned to the owner's hand. So it pretty much gives you some utility and bouncing things back. Hold on just a minute. I gotta rearrange some things. Here we go. Next up, 2 Labaku. Very good battle protection. Awesome. 1 Pre-Errata Ring of Destruction. This is basically good Ring of Destruction, not pretty much the dumbed, watered down version. This is actually the really awesome Ring of Destruction that we all know and love from the anime. But for those who don't know what this card does, I will explain. Target one face-up monster on the field, destroy that target, and if you do, inflict damage to both players' life points equal to that target's attack. This is the old version. The new errata is highly different, and like I said, the new errata is like dumbed down and watered down. So, next up, Call the Haunted, Torrential Tribute, Bottomless Trap Hole, Trap Dust Chute. Now this is a really nice trap card. It's been on the ban list forever and a day, and I don't think in modern Yu-Gi-Oh you can ever see this coming back. But anywho, here's what this does for people that don't know. You can activate this card only while your opponent has 4 or more cards in his or her hand. Look at your opponent's hand, then select one monster card and return it to its owner's deck. The deck is then shuffled. So it's essentially a little similar to cards like Forceful Sentry and Delinquent Duo. Next up, 1 Regeki Break and 2 Threatening Roar, rounding up the traps. Next up, the spells. 1 Fissure, 1 MST, Premature Burial. This card has been on the ban list for many years. Reason why it was banned is because cards that pretty much bounce cards back to the hand, like Giant Trunade, for example, would allow Premature Burial to be used over and over and over again. So yeah, it's like an infinite reuse card, essentially. 1 Monster Reborn, 1 Graceful Charity, 1 Pot of Greed, 1 Card Destruction, 3 copies of Last Will. Now, this is a very interesting card. What this does is as follows. If a monster of yours is sent from the field to the graveyard during the turn that you've played this card, you can select a monster with an attack of 1500 or less from your deck and play it as a special summon. Shuffle the deck after playing the card. This card remains active for 1 turn only. So say, for example, you activate this, one of your monsters gets destroyed, then boom, you bring out the magical scientist. That's pretty much how you can get the OTK to start up. Well, one of the requirements. Then you also got your giant trunades for getting rid of back row and bouncing your premature burial. Heavy Storm, and Dark Hole. Now we get into the monsters. 3 copies of Catapult Turtle, pre-errata version. This is the old effect of Catapult Turtle. Pretty much what he does, according to the pre-errata version, once per turn, you can tribute 1 monster, inflict damage to your opponent equal to half of the tributed monster's attack on the field. So basically, you got a once per turn version here. Okay, anywho, moving on. 3 copies of Catapult Soldier. 1 Sangan. 1 Witch, pre-errata versions. I shouldn't really have to explain these. If anybody knows the pre-errata versions, you should know what they're used for. 3 copies of Gilosaurus, 2 copies of Skelangel, 1 Morphing Jar for discarding and draw power, and then you got the man of the hour, the man with the power, Magical Scientist. Basically, you could pay 1,000 life points to special summon a level 6 or lower fusion monster from your extra deck, which, every single fusion monster in this extra deck, is, level 6 or lower. Every single one of them. And here's the targets. So, I'm going to set this deck aside. So we got a Roaring Ocean Snake, 2 copies of Thousand Eyes Restrict, 2 Flame Swordsmen, 1 Guilty of the D-Knight, 1 amphibious Bugraw, 1 Ryusenshi, 1 Musician King, 1 Reaper on the Nightmare, 1 Cherubin the Fire Knight, 1 Cybersaurus, and 1 Carbonilla Warrior. So that is all my targets for Magical Scientist. Now the thing is, though, even though this Catapult Turtle here that is currently in the deck says once per turn on it, I do actually have older copies that don't have the once per turn clause on them. So until I can find those copies, I'll be treating these as the pre-errata versions of Catapult Turtle. Just wanted to clarify that. Okay, so pretty much you've seen the deck profile. Now I'm going to show you the OTK. So let's get one of you. Actually, no. Let's get a Cannon Soldier out, a Catapult Turtle, and a Last Will. Okay, so we have all our pieces for the Magical Scientist OTK. So first what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to let's see. You're going to want to let me think here. As I have to remember how I did this. So basically what you're going to want to do is say your opponent already has a monster. First, activate Last Will. Then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to normal summon the Cannon Soldier. Then what you're going to do is ram your Cannon Soldier into the opponent's monster, and then basically Last Will go off, allowing you to summon your Scientist. Scientist effect will now go off. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to pay 1,000 life points for at least 4 other monsters. So say, for example, we do Ryusenchi, Guilty of the D-Knight, Roaring Ocean Snake, and Cybersource. If your opponent has nothing on their turn, if they can't do a thing, it'll go back to you. Then what you're going to do is you're going to tribute off, say, for example, your Cybersaurus for Guilty of the D-Knight, for Catapult Turtle. Now, like I said, I forgot to put the pre-erratas, the pre-errata Catapult Turtles in here. I thought they were the pre-errata Catapult Turtles, but I should have looked closer. These are like the newer ones that say, oh wait, hold on, let me look at this. Oh no, this one's the pre-errata. Okay, good. So, so basically, in doing this deck profile, folks, I could sort of figure out what happened. Essentially, before I show you the OTK, this is what happened. So, I put in Catapult Turtles like I was supposed to, but I should have paid attention to the versions. So, do you see this? One of these things is not like the other. This one is a newer errata. These two are pre-errata. So I have 2 pre-errata Catapult Turtles from around the 2004 era. This one is a new era. Just clarifying that, people. I did have pre-erratas in here after all. So let's just put a pre-errata one right there. Now I can show you all how this OTK works. So what you're going to want to do is, say right now, the opponent has 8,000 life points, right? First up, you use Turtle's effect. Sacrifice Guiltia, that's going to burn him. Sacrifice Ryusenchi, that's going to burn him. Sacrifice Roaring Ocean Snake, that's going to burn him. Then what you're going to do is you're going to use Scientist's effect 3 more times. Let's say summon 2 Flame Swordsmen and a Carbonala Warrior. And what you're going to do is you're essentially going to keep burning the opponent like this until essentially you get to the last card which the Scientist burned for game by sacrificing the Scientist with the turtle for the turtle. So I'm hoping I explained that correctly. I'm sorry this is a jumbled up mess, people. I just needed to clarify that I had pre-errata Catapult Turtles in here, which I do. I just got to take the new one out when I get some more. But anywho, I'm hoping this was a good enough explanation for you all about the Magical Scientist OTK. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. There might be more old format decks in the future. I might do some decks from Goat format or Edison format or Reaper format. Like any format you can think of, just let me know in the comments section. But anywho, until next time, this is Yu-Gi-Oh! Master 88 saying see you later.